right, NBA season is over. Who is your MVP and who is your coach of the year?
That's a great question.
Well, thanks.
Because there's not a simple answer to that, Les. Woody, would you like to go first?
No.
Well, then I'm going to jump in and say the right answer. I want the right answer to be Stephen Curry. I think that the best player in the NBA is LeBron James. But the winner of the MVP is James Harden of Houston.
Well, what is your definition? Is it the best player of the year or is it the most valuable player? That has been a decades-old argument that how can a guy in Chicago, who we both liked, play on a last-place Cubs team and be called the most valuable player in the league?
Andre Dawson, 1987. Ozzie Smith from St. Louis was second in the voting, and his team went to the World Series in 1987.
Larry Walker with the Colorado Rockies.
Yeah. Well, I mean, if
should they change it? Because I saw somebody said change. I mean, this is nothing new, but I saw somebody change the award. Most outstanding season. Player with most outstanding season. Most valuable player means. So when you say Steph Curry,
James Harden. I'm going with Harden.
Oh, you're going with Harden.
You are?
Yeah. Harden's my guy.
Why?
No, you didn't mention him. You said the best player is LeBron, and Steph Curry's the guy that
I wish Steph Curry's one of my favorite guys. LeBron is the best player, but the most valuable player.
Oh, so I didn't let you
get there. The most valuable player is our friend James Harden because he is a combination of valuable, and outstandingness. That's a word. Outstandingness.
If you took Steph Curry, let me just pose a hypothetical question. If you took Steph Curry off the Warriors, how good would they have been this year?
If you took any of these guys
but you
off
can
their
say that
team,
about
they're all
anybody.
going to be just okay.
So you think James
But
Harden was more valuable to get his team to a second seed than a guy was valuable enough to get his team to a first seed?
Statistically,
for the first
if
time?
you look at what Harden did, and there was a stat I saw that when he scores 15 or fewer points, his team has a losing record. When Curry scores 15 or fewer points, his team's 8-2.
Well, Harden also is responsible for something like 46% of his team's points,
right?
Which is far and away above anybody else. And he's an all-star surrounded by really a bunch of journeymen. Remember, they didn't have Dwight Howard for a lot of the season.
Yeah.
Well, there's one other all-star on the Warriors, I think.
Klay Thompson.
That's a really good team, the Warriors. I mean, not only are they good in the starting five, they've got a lot of depth. They play defense.
Great players on that team.
Look, Steph Curry is the best player on the best team in the league. I don't think there's any doubt about that right now. LeBron, let me make a case for LeBron James very quickly.
And I want to piggyback on that.
Who I think should win the award every year, frankly, because he is the best player in the league
but
by
it's
far.
not the best player in the league.
No, I get it.
I get it.
And that's why I'm going to tell you. What did the Miami Heat do last year with LeBron James?
Well, Les, they went to the NBA Finals.
That's right. And what did they do this year?
Well, Les, they didn't even make the playoffs.
They were 8 games below 500 without LeBron James. Still had D. Wade. Still had Chris Bosh. Without LeBron James, sub 500 by a lot, and not a playoff
Chalmers,
team.
Still had
Mario Chalmers.
Well, if we're talking
Seriously?
about LeBron,
you going there?
If we're talking about LeBron, you could make this
I will at some point.
idea. How about this, guys? Let's just have this one sink in.
Okay.
Look at his socks.
Oh yeah, Woody-esque. There we go. And look at my white legs, just like yours.
Go with your shirt.
Maravich-esque.
You're a mentor of mine, Woody. I'm just trying to fit in right here with white legs and awesome socks. How about
those
this?
look like they're out of the Cat in the Hat.
What? Oh, but what's that then?
These are classy. The black matches the black part of the top of the sock. The purple matches this. The orange matches my underwear.
I respect it. Yeah. And then thanks for sharing that with us. LeBron James. If LeBron James doesn't go to Cleveland, they don't get Kevin Love. His value, if you will, he's valuable because they get a star player to come to that team strictly because of his existence.
He's Peyton Manning.
Yeah, he's Peyton Manning. So again, I'm still going with Harden, but to add to your point about the importance of LeBron, they wouldn't have even had Kevin Love.
I think we should also think out of the box here. How'd the Oklahoma City Thunder do with Kevin Durant? And how they do this year without Kevin Durant?
Thinking outside the box.
That's outside the box.
Westbrook is going to be right there in the chase. I mean, you've now mentioned the 4 players.
Okay.
The only 4 players that should be mentioned.
Well, make your case for Mario Chalmers now.
I think that offensive efficiency that Mr. Unibrow had the best year of anybody. 15 games with 30 points and 10 rebounds. That is, we're talking about a guy who basically, without much support. Holiday came back at the end,
Right.
but went out and just willed his team to win that game last night and get into the playoffs, and that was great for New Orleans. You came here from New Orleans.
I did.
But that meant a lot beyond them winning, because that was a team. Tell us, when you were covering the team, what was going to happen to the old New Orleans Hornets?
Oh, it was
or
falling
whatever?
apart. I mean, the team was falling apart before Hurricane Katrina. Then Hurricane Katrina comes in 2005. Team moves to Oklahoma City for 2 seasons. They come back, and the fan support's not there. They had one great season with Chris Paul, and then they had to trade him. And they've been terrible ever since, until this year. Anthony Davis, the eyebrow, the Frida Kahlo of the NBA, Wally Moon for some of you old timers, and then you throw in.
Seriously?
Look up Wally Moon,
Moon?
everybody. Google search Wally Moon. He had
Dodgers.
his
Dodgers.
unibrow had a unibrow. That's how gross it was.
Home runs in the Los Angeles Coliseum when Wally Moon played there after playing with St. Louis. You want some old time?
Yeah, let's do it.
Were called moonshots because it was
Moonshots.
only 247 to left field. They put a big wall up in the Coliseum, and
Yeah.
he would swing inside out, and they called them moonshots.
Sure.
You want Wally Moon stuff? I can give you.
I
Wally
love
Moon
it. I
stuff.
love it.
It's
I love
awesome.
it. He was on the St. Louis Cardinals for a while.
That's why. That's why you know him. That's why I know him. Wally Moon.
Totally. Yeah, but I mean, basically that franchise was falling apart. Anthony Davis was a savior. Like you mentioned, they had some nice guys. Every team's got some nice compliment guys. Drew Holiday, Ryan Anderson, what have you. But Anthony Davis, I mean, if you're talking about value for a team, he'll probably come in 5th, like you said, Woody, in the MVP. We talked about the 4 guys, but that's a heck of a 5th guy.
Yeah, and I think he's personally responsible for really keeping his coach will get another year there, and B, New Orleans needs somebody like him.
Right.
They lost Chris Paul, or that franchise would go away. I don't
There's
know
no
where
question.
it would go to,
Yeah.
where there are teams left where you could go.
All right, who do we think is going to win? Who do we think
Anaheim,
is going to
maybe?
get the
Well, Curry's going to win.
I think
Everyone's
Curry's
enamored by
going to get it too. You?
Harden.
You think he's
Harden's
going to win
get
it? Or you think, okay.
I think he's going to win it. I think there are enough people that feel like you do, both of you do, that Harden, that's why I come back to most valuable player,
Right.
that he was the most valuable player in the league. The great LeBron James argument is that Kevin Love came there. But then a lot of people would say, was he really a positive for that team this year? And will he be back next year? Will
Right.
he be going to the Lakers or something?
Sure. Or the Nuggets, Woody. Could come to the Nuggets.
Oh, yeah.
I'm kidding.
Somebody, who gets on that? Are we going to get on that act again?
I'm
No.
kidding.
All right, we've decided
I'm
who the MVP of the year is going to be, and that segment was brought to you by Harmony Foundation, Colorado's premier treatment program for drug and alcohol addiction. It's located just outside of Estes Park on a private, beautiful 45-acre mountain campus. It is insurance-friendly, so visit HarmonyFoundationInc.com if you feel the need or you know somebody else who feels